Hello, welcome everybody. Wonderful to have all of you here. This is fantastic. Welcome to our special event here on Zoom. I'm your Thursday mom host. Usually, this is our meditation for moms. And I'm sitting here in Texas, in Austin, Texas, and we have a special event tonight. So it's not only going to be for moms, we're going to have lots of different people from everywhere and maybe long time yogis who meditate for a while, as well as newcomers. So if you have never been to a meeting before, it totally doesn't matter. We're going to give a very slight introduction, but not how we usually do it. So I would very much recommend, if you want to go deeper in the meditation, um, you go to one of our moms meetings, which is always at the same time during the week here at, for me, Texas time, Central Time, 8 o'clock. And there's many, many other meetings. So maybe Gunjan, who did such a fantastic job with the slideshow, can show us the agenda for today. The agenda for today is a little introduction by myself. Sia, I'm originally from Austria. I'm a musician, a songwriter. We're going to have a very special guest today on the show. I wanted to say on the event, which is my dear friend Poornima from the East Coast. She's going to come on in just a second, and we're going to have a chat about today's topic, which is the element air, and I'm really excited about that. Then we have a short meditation, which Poornima is going to lead, and a 6-minute excerpt of a speech of Srimatiji. Now, Srimatiji is the founder of Sahaja Yoga, and you will see her in a lot of photographs of our slideshow, because alone from her photograph there's tremendous vibrations. It's like a cool wind coming. So I invite you all, and this is going to be your task for today, to pay attention on three things. One is, will you be able to reach a state of thoughtless awareness? Will this music and meditation and poetry evening today, will this transport you into a realm where thoughts just go, at least for a little bit, away, and your breathing slows down? And the second thing is, are you feeling joyful? And the third thing is, are you feeling vibrations on your hands? So these are going to be your three little homeworks, I could say, pieces of homework. What else? So we have the music and poetry part, which I just spoke about, and at the end we'll have a little Q&A. Feel free to speak whatever you want to speak. Don't be worried about YouTube. We most likely, let's see how it goes, but for the permanent download, it could be that we just cut that out, so you don't have to be worried that you're going to be somewhere on YouTube for later on or something. But this is for you to ask questions to Poornima, maybe to myself, and to the topic. All right, so the topic today is element air, and we all know we have the 5 elements. The elements reflect on our being in so many ways, and what we also refer to as our chakras, our energy centers. So we have a chart for you where you can just very briefly see that we have 7 energy centers that are within our system, which relate to our emotional, mental, physical well-being. And the element air relates to the heart, and what we say, the center heart and the heart, but the heart is also where the spirit resides. So these are things we usually tell in our newcomer or intermediate programs. We learn about the centers, how they relate, and we say, okay, element air. But today we want to go a little bit deeper, and that's where I need Poornima. So Poornima is, she's waiting. Poornima is an actress, a writer, a poet. She has even written a poem for a beautiful, beautiful poem for our event tonight. And please join on the screen.
Hi,
Poornima, welcome.
Sia.
Hi.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be here with everyone.
It's a blast. Greetings to the East Coast. It's great to have you here on board. So you have meditated since childhood, and you have also gone through the education as an actress, and we spoke a little bit about breath, right? We spoke about breathing and air and how it relates to that. But you told me some fabulous stories about your experiences with breath. Do you want to share something with us?
Yeah, it's been really fun preparing for this program with you. For everyone here, Sia and I are dear friends and fellow artists and meditators, and we really had a sort of joyful time reflecting on this question of what is the role of our breath in our meditation. Often when we meditate, our breath kind of slows down, and uh, you were mentioning, Sia, this kind of there can be this sort of alarming feeling of like, wait, am I just going to stop breathing like through this meditation? What does it mean to come into that stillness? And we were reflecting on how, you know, and this is something I was taught in my acting classes, that like, don't forget to breathe, because otherwise, if you don't breathe, then you won't think. And then if you need to say your lines, you need to think of your lines. So you need to take a breath so that you remember your lines. But it's interesting, in meditation, our goal is to have a little break from those thoughts, isn't it?
Yeah, when Srimatiji is, as you will see later in the video, guiding a meditation, she's slowing the breath down, and she says it's the silence between the breaths where seemingly we seem to be having the best opportunity to go thoughtless. Um, Whereas from our tradition, even in language, the last breath is like it always seems to be associated with the end of existence. And so we were talking about this, right, Poornima? Is the absence of breath, is that the end of the existence, or maybe is that the actual existence? Because let's not forget, we're talking about the element air relating to the heart, and the heart is where the spirit is, which we know is eternal, which we know is beyond our body, right? So maybe there is a relationship to this, quietening the breath, the silence between the breaths, and true existence. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, it could be interesting for all of us to just pay attention to how we are breathing right now. We breathe automatically. We don't have to think of it, but it's these waves of breath that are keeping us alive. That's good. Thank you. Thank you for keeping us alive. Lovely air element that we are celebrating tonight. And yet, if you think of an ocean that has waves, beneath the surface is a depth that is not, changing. I had an acting teacher who used to say, breath is change. So if you're getting stuck, take a breath. It might change how you're feeling. It might refresh you. And breath does have this role of refreshment, like a fresh breeze or a fresh wind. And we often feel this in this meditation. Even if you open your hands right now, you might feel a breeze flowing in your hands. And so we are finding this balance today. This is something we're exploring between the breath that flows through and refreshes and changes, and that gives us a new thought, a new inspiration. That's what the word inspire means, is to take a breath. Oh, I'm inspired. and and yet, if we are constantly in this state of thinking, changing, breathing, sometimes we get so anxious we're hyperventilating. It doesn't leave room for that space between the breaths. And actually, in that space is the eternal, is the part of us, is that spirit which lasts beyond death, that lasts beyond breath. And, you need both, actually. You need the lovely waves of our daily life, that drama, but we also need that sustenance, don't we? That part of us, that silence that is there between.
Coming from more the singing and the instrumental side, I must say breath played an incredibly important role in the way we phrase things. We even have the word phrasing in instruments, in instrument playing, in our performance. And because there's this power in breath, that we get strength, we get power from the breath. And it's always like a little bit like life starts, life ends, life starts, like so you breathe in before you play. I cannot start a performance without breathing in. I cannot. Even if I play an instrument that is not a wind instrument, like the flute, I have to breathe in, and it has a completely different energy. I would breathe in and start my phrase. But again, and this is something I teach a lot to my students as well, and some might be on the call. Um, when you play an instrument like the piano or the violin, you need to make artificial breaths. You need to give the listener the feeling of a gap between the breaths for them to follow. If I were doodling along on the piano and never stop, the artificial breath obviously is stopping to play for a minute or stopping my bow for a minute. That is the in between breaths on the instrument. If I don't give that, the listener who is actually, without being conscious about it, breathing along to your performance will not feel comfortable. He cannot reflect on what you're doing. Does that make sense with the
Yeah.
instruments?
Yeah. And you know what else I think is important is without the breath, you don't have the feeling. And coming back to the heart, like why is air the element of the heart? I mean, physically, of course, the air goes into the heart, right? But I think when we take a breath, that's often when we find out how we feel about something emotionally,
Emotionally.
right? Yeah, and it's interesting. We were talking about this before, Sia, like how our culture sometimes privileges what we think about things over how we feel about things, and that the integration of the mind and the heart, that's what occurs in meditation. And if one is neglected, you cannot reach that balance, that you could call that silence between the breaths, also the balance between the breaths. And without the receptivity of taking a breath and then the surrender of letting it out. I've actually, in my acting classes, it's funny, you know, you'll have someone who's like memorized their lines and they're delivering their monologue as though they're holding on to like a wild horse. Like I'm controlling this thing as it's coming out of my mouth, you know, and the teacher will come and put their hand like in the center of the back where the heart is. And we'll say, breathe. Oh, and that's when there's some surrender and there's a little bit of messiness, and maybe that's when the person will cry or laugh or notice how their heart is feeling. So this is also something to explore today as we meditate on this beautiful element is how do we feel, and can we allow our feelings to flow instead of kind of getting stuck somewhere in our bodies, you know?
Srimatiji, when she talks about the element, she told that the gross element is air, but the subtlety is vibrations. And this is something we would like you to feel today. So Poornima is going to lead a short meditation with us now. And please open your hands, have your feet on the ground, or if you're sitting on the ground, even better, crisscross. Get ready, find a quiet space somewhere. This is now your time to go inside. This is not a show. This is what we do today is actually like a vehicle. We're attempting. It's a little bit like of an experiment too, right? It's we're going to attempt to guide you on one breath, um, with little gaps, um, on a journey of finding yourself and connecting to yourself, to your heart, to your spirit, and onto those vibrations. And just let those thoughts pass, especially when you hear words like poems. Don't think, don't analyze, just let it wash over you like a fresh breeze. So, Poornima, are you ready to lead us into a little bit of meditation? And then we have the 6-minute clip of Srimatiji meditation, and then we'll meet you with the music.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so everyone get comfortable and you can open your hands in your lap and go ahead and close your eyes. And for this first part of the meditation, just allow yourself to breathe. Just observing your breath as you're observing everything about yourself. And seeing if you can let go so that you're not clinging onto any tension and you're not clinging onto your breath even as it comes in or goes out. And now we can actually take our hands and, if you're sitting on the ground, place them on the ground next to you. If you're sitting on a chair, point them towards the earth. So we're literally getting grounded. And the quality of the first chakra is innocence. Our innocence gives us a playful openness to what we're going to experience. So we can say inside our hearts, I am innocent. And as we've talked about in other meditations, the energy that brings us into meditation is our mother, our inner mother. So it can help to say these affirmations. Mother, I am innocent. Addressing this Kundalini energy within us that nurtures us. Now we can bring our left hand back to our lap and place our right hand on the left side of our heart. This is actually the place in our body where motherhood is expressed. Our motherly qualities of nurturance and of love are renewed here and refreshed here. And the way that we access that unconditional love is by knowing that we are our spirit. So here we can say inside our hearts several times, Mother, I am not this body, this mind. I am the pure spirit. If you find yourself tensing up or holding on to something in your body, see if you can let it go with your out breath. These affirmations are just to assist a very spontaneous process within us. We don't need to put effort or to force. Now we can bring our hand to our forehead and lean our forehead forward a little bit. Here we can say from our hearts, wholeheartedly, I forgive everyone and I forgive myself. We can even say, I forgive everyone and everything. You can forgive your thoughts. You can forgive the tension, whatever is coming to create an obstacle. By forgiving it, it gets washed away. Now stretch your hand wide. Place the center of the palm against the center of the crown of your head. Extend your fingertips and gently massage this lovely crown of your head. And just ask and welcome our inner mother to lift us into meditation, lift us to the 7th chakra, which is above our thoughts and above our worries. We can say in our hearts, please bring me into meditation. And then gently lift your hand above your head. Just notice if you feel a cool breeze flowing into your hand. Sometimes people feel a little heat at first. That's also fine. It's just things getting washed out. You can feel with your other hand, if you like, resting the first hand back on the lap. Then rest both hands open on your lap and leave your attention at the crown of your head. And we're going to listen to Srimatiji's guided meditation based around our breath. So if you like, you can open your eyes to watch the video and follow along.
Because emotions are nothing but wishes. These are fulfilled wishes. Now, how they do it otherwise is also this way, that you take up these emotions and put them. So that is, these emotions are actually the left side, as I said, is the desire. So the desire is taken, any desire, and is put in the prana. Now how do you put it on the prana? That you control your prana. That's why they do pranayamas. See, like you sit down now very comfortably. Now you have a desire to put your attention to that. Attention is very important. See, now this attention is to be put onto the prana. So the emotions are there, and then bring those emotions and put them into your attention. Means they are now, you are aware of them. Now what you do is to watch your breathing. See now, try to reduce your breathing. Reduce it. in the sense that you have breathed out, wait for a while, then breathe in. For a long time, then you breathe out. So in 1 minute, your breathing will be less than normal. Alright, try that. Breathe in. Now with the emotions, keep the attention on the emotions, you see, so that the connection is established. Better? See the Kundalini rises? Now when you are breathing, you find that there is a space in between, which you just leave it vacant. Breathe in. Now leave it vacant. Now breathe out. Now leave it vacant. Breathe in. Keep it there. Then leave it. Keep outside. Now breathe in. Now start breathing in such a way that you stop your breathing. Attention should be on the heart, or could be on the emotions. It's better. Keep the breathing inside for a while. Bring it out, then outside for a while. Then again. Then you'll find that for a while you will not breathe. See, you settle now. The laya takes place between your prana and your mana. Both the Shaktis become one. Now, at this stage when you are silent, now you think of your intellect. It's lost. Just think of it. It's lost. It's no more there. So what is happening? Actually, that this laya, the attention goes into the intellect and enlightens the intellect. See, the thought is not there. Try to find your intellect within yourself. Now see, where is my intellect? Try to find it. It's not there. It's not working. Again try it. It is working, but it has become the samashti. It's become the collective now. See now? Did you follow that? There's no thought. This exercise will give you this thoughtless awareness, establishment of thoughtless awareness. There is no thought.
We are thankful to the powers we know as the four winds. We hear their voices in the moving air as they refresh us and purify the air we breathe. They help us to bring the change of seasons. From the four directions they come, bringing us messages and giving us strength. With one mind, we send our greetings and thanks to the four winds. Now our minds are one. The mark of a moderate man is freedom from his own ideas, tolerant like the sky, all-pervading like sunlight, firm like a mountain, supple like a tree in the wind. He has no destination in view and makes use of anything life brings to him. Listen. A king sat upon his throne, surrounded by lofty and wonderfully beautiful columns ornamented with ivory, bearing the banners of the king proudly to all. Then it pleased the king to lift a small feather from the ground, and he commanded it to fly. Yet a feather does not fly because of anything, but because the air bears it along. Thus, I am a feather on the breath of God, not gifted with great powers or education, nor even with good health, but I rely completely on God. Earth has not anything to show more fair. Dull would he be of soul who could pass by a sight so touching in its majesty. This city now doth like a garment wear the beauty of the morning. Silent, bare, ships, towers, domes, theaters, and temples lie open unto the fields and to the sky, all bright and glittering in the smokeless air. Never did sun more beautifully steep in his first splendor valley, rock, or hill. Ne'er saw I, never felt a calm so deep. The river glideth at his own sweet will. Dear God, the very houses seem asleep, and all that mighty heart is lying still.
All that mighty heart is lying still. All the mighty heart is lying is
O servant, where dost thou seek me? Lo, I am beside thee. I am neither in temple nor in mosque. I am neither in Kaaba nor in Kailash. Neither am I in rites and ceremonies, nor in yoga and renunciation. If thou art a true seeker, thou shalt at once see me. Thou shalt meet me in a moment of time. Kabir says, O Sadhu, God is the breath of all breath.
gamada nida pa mada nida pa mada ma nida pa gama re ga re sa re gama pa madani Gare, gare, sa.
Sister wind comes to wake the trees, comes to teach the clouds patterns, comes to tease the lake into little petal waves. Mother wind loves flowers in the fields. She knows their flower souls, who wants to bloom, who wants to fold. She comes to gather sweetness, then to give, a breeze that flows with scents of daisy, sage, and rose. Heaven is her home. There she runs to drench her heart in blue. There she flies to meet the birds who trust to her their wings. Come, visit this, our town. Come shake our little houses, come tip us laughing down. Come chase us free of time. Take us to your abode in the center of the rose. Take us to the mountain in her gown of snow, and wash us out to wander under stars. Teach us your ways, bright wind. Teach us to flow without clinging, breathe without thinking, love without taking. Teach us to live in the silence between these songs.
Om Shri Vayu Devataya Namaha. 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 Om Shri Anilaya Namaha. Om Shri Anilaya Namaha. Om Shri Anilaya Namaha. Om Shri Anilaya Namaha. Om Shri Pavanaya Namaha. Srimatiji, Shri Nirmala Devi, Namo Namaha, Namo Namaha, Namo Namaha. So we can slowly open our eyes and let's feel with our hand if we can feel a cool breeze come out of our. We can also try with the other hand. Sometimes it's a little bit further away. Stay in the silence, stay in the thoughtless. Just enjoy to be in the present moment. Keep your attention just there on top of your head and listen to this 1 minute clip of Srimatiji talking about the element air.
And after this, from the comes the second thing, which we call as Vayu in Sanskrit, meaning the air. So the air that we have, which is gross air, what is the subtle of air is this cool breeze that you get. The cool breeze is the subtle of that air. So the subtle of what you understand as cool breeze is what we call vibrations. The subtle of that is air, which is a part and parcel of our making. So this cool breeze is the second thing that you start getting subtler and subtler. When your growth takes place, all these subtle things start expressing themselves. It's not only that you get vibrations, but you get the cool breeze, and that is the subtle of air that has built you.
Now, no one wants to talk. Maybe that's a good thing. I hope you feel joyful. So remember your homework. Are you feeling joyful? Are you feeling a cool breeze on your hands? And did you manage to go a little bit thoughtless during the program? Now that, even if it's one of them, we'd be so happy. So we're at the end of the official part of the program. We show you a slide how you can find, quickly we show you a slide, how you can find programs. And at the end, we're going to do some Q&A. So hang in there if you have any questions, if you want to ask things to Poornima and about acting or her experiences or whatever it is. So here we go. These are our daily online classes for moms, and there is also other classes, many other Sahaja yoga classes in your area, online, everywhere. They're always free of charge. You will never be charged any money. So here we go. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you have a good night and enjoyed. So for our Q&A part, here we go. I guess I need help from our tech team in the background, maybe to give the opportunity. Or maybe we can pop the questions in the chat. How about that? Or would you like to unmute? Otherwise, it might get a bit chaotic. So I don't have experience in that. Maybe somebody takes over that part.
I have a question for you, Sia.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't actually. I just.
Oh, what a question.
No, I have a statement, which is I really like. That was this. For everyone who's here, this was a total experiment for us, you know? This is the first time we've tried something like this. And it's such a joy to go on this dance between music and poetry. And I don't know how Sia plays this many instruments, but it gives me a lot of joy. So
there's a few more. Next time, when we do the elements.
Next time you'll break out some more instruments.
Water's next.
I think she plays flute as well, right?
Yeah.
Do you play flute? Oh my goodness. Oh
I
my
play
goodness.
piano.